Okay, I'm about to make pineapple upside down cake. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to take 4 tablespoons of melted butter, and I'm going to pour it into this baking dish. Yeah, so I'm gonna take 4. This is 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm just going to evenly coat the bottom of the sauce, the pan. Then I'm going to add half of a cup of either light or dark brown sugar. I'm choosing to use light brown sugar. That's just because that's my preference. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to just sprinkle this evenly over my melted butter. I'm just going to sprinkle this evenly over my melted butter. Sprinkle this as evenly as I can. I'm just going to add a little bit more to the sides of the pan. And just try to sprinkle it evenly. Just gonna sprinkle as even as I possibly can. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start breaking down my my pineapple. So I'm gonna take my pineapple. Yeah, I let it sit out and ripen for about 2 days. So I'm gonna take my pineapple, I'm gonna start breaking it down. So I'm gonna cut the top of it off. And I'm using a serrated edge knife to do this. To begin doing this, I should say. So I can be more precise when I take the flesh off of it. A serrated edge knife allows me to be more precise with it. So now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my knife. And I'm gonna cut, kind of a thin slice of pineapple. Then I'm gonna take this is a donut cutter. And I'm just going to cut a couple squares. Or I'm going to shape the pineapples like this. Okay. And as I'm doing this, I'm just going to take these and sit them on top of sit them right on top of my batter. Sit them right on top of my. Then I'm going to take my small little pine nut dots, and I'm just going to put them on the sides of the pan, just like that. Just like that. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my Marascano cherries to my topping. So first thing I'm going to take these Marascano cherries out. And I'm just going to pull the pits off and kind of place them into the batter one by one. place them into the pineapples one by one. Yeah, I'm just going to place them in here one by one, slowly. And I'm going to make sure I remove the tip of the cherry. As I'm putting them in there, I'm just going to put them into any open area on the cake. Any open area that I can fit them in, I'm going to fit them in. And as you can see, there's no excess liquid, and you don't want that because it could cause the cake to overflow if there's any excess liquid or anything like that. So I'm just going to squeeze the cherries in wherever I can. Should be able to fit one more in there somewhere. Okay. Those are your cherries. So now what I'm going to do, is I'm going to put the topping in the refrigerator. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for a few minutes. While I do the batter. So now I'm about to do the batter. So I'll do my cake batter. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1.5 cups of cake flour. And to this cake flour, I'm going to add 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. One-fourth of a teaspoon of baking soda. 1/2 of a teaspoon of salt. 1/2 a teaspoon of salt. Half of a teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Then I'm going to whisk all my ingredients together. Then I'm going to set it aside. And then I'm going to take 6 tablespoons of softened butter. And I'm going to cream my butter. Yep, I'm going to cream 6 tablespoons of softened butter. I'm going to cream my butter. I'm going to cream my butter until it looks like margarine. Cream this butter until it looks like margarine. Okay, so now after I've creamed my butter, I'm going to add 2 egg whites to my butter. That's my 2 egg whites. Add that to my butter. Then I'm just going to incorporate my egg whites into my butter. I'm going to incorporate my egg whites into my butter. Then I'm going to incorporate the egg whites into my butter. Okay, then I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of sour cream. Yep, 1/3 of a cup of sour cream. So I'm just going to measure 1/3 of a cup. Okay, so we have 1/3 of a cup of sour cream. One-third of a cup of sour cream. I'm just going to beat this until it's incorporated. Mix that until that's well incorporated. Then I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. One teaspoon of vanilla extract. One teaspoon of vanilla extract. Incorporate that. So now I'm going to add the dry ingredients, but I'm not going to do it too quick. Do it gradually. Gradually add my dry ingredients. Add my dry ingredient. I'm going to fully incorporate that. Okay, so now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of milk. But the milk has to be room temperature that I'm going to add to it. 2 tablespoons of milk. And 2 tablespoons of milk. And I'm going to slowly add 1/4 of a cup of pineapple juice. One-fourth of a cup. I'm going to slowly add it though, gradually. Gradually add 1/4 of a cup of pineapple juice. Very gradually. Gradually add 1/4 of a cup of pineapple juice. Okay. So I don't want to overbeat it, so you want there to be some lumps in it so that the cake is fluffy. So now what I want to do is take my topping out of the refrigerator, and I want to evenly spread my cake batter over it. as evenly as possible. As evenly as possible. Then I'm going to take my cake and put it in this oven that's been preheated to 350 degrees and bake it for between 43 and 45 minutes. And that's your pineapple upside down cake.